proof of service, brown-haired white male and weighing 160 to 180 pounds. This is not that defendant. What happened? Who you serve is not this individual.
Work through a gig app. So I signed up, I saw some TikTok videos, trying to get a better understanding.
And a default judgment was entered because this defendant did not receive the paperwork.
When you get sued, the process server has to physically hand you a copy of the lawsuit.
You've been served. You have a court date.
And then they have to swear to the court they did it. This chick served somebody, but it wasn't this guy, and as a result, he automatically lost the lawsuit because he never knew about it. Now this process server is in court to explain why this bald man suddenly had hair and briefly lost about 50 pounds. It's clear to me and Judge DeSanto that she meant no foul, but it's also clear to me the TikTok primer she received did not prepare her for life outside the 7th grade. I left some juicy bits from the underlying case in there for context. It seems Mr. Elliot may be attempting his own delay tactics. Let's roll her.
The reason that I scheduled this hearing, counsel, is because I had some concerns over the process serving, which is why we requested the process server to be present. Because there was a default that was issued against Mr. Elliot, and in reviewing the proof of service, let me just get to that, it is not this defendant. And so that raises some concern for this court. The proof of service that I have, and I have it pulled up right here, is that the documents were personally served. Brown-haired white male, 45 to 55 years of age, 5'8" to 5'10", weighing 160 to 180 pounds with glasses. Okay. This is not that defendant. And when the court inquired of Mr. Elliot under oath, he does not, there's not another James Elliot that resides at the property. Is that correct?
Right.
And that the only other male person in the home is his son, who obviously would look 45 to 55 years old. And the court also looked at Mr. Elliot's identification, his driver's license. The court even went so far as to ask how long has he been bald, because I thought maybe he possibly could have shaved his head, right? And he says for at least 20 years. Is that correct also? Now, there's not going from memory on that because I didn't write that information down. And he also stated it's been a while since he's been anywhere between 160 to 180 pounds, right? Would that be accurate? Okay. So, counsel, the court had your process server come forward because that is not who this person is. And it's saying that she personally served the defendant. And then the court had relied upon that service and entered a default judgment against the person that was actually never served. So, ma'am, if you can please step forward. Okay. Yes. I'm going to have you please raise your right hand. And so, ma'am, how long have you been doing process serving?
That's about August or September.
Of 2025?
Yes.
Okay. So you just heard what I stated occurred on Tuesday, November 4th at 3:17 p.m.
Yes.
So what happened? Because who you serve is not this individual.
She want to go through my process.
That's the start, yes.
So from what I've been trained on, I go to the door, I verify the address, knock on the door, the person came to the door, I stated the name, they reached out and said yes to the paperwork in the vacant house.
You don't confirm by identification? How do you confirm that it's the person?
I state their name and they confirm it.
Okay, so if somebody
Work through a gig app. So
a what app?
a gig app, ABC Legal.
Okay.
So they have like pre things in there that I have to like press, and they don't require me to ask for an identification.
Have you reviewed the court rules, ma'am, that regarding the service of process?
I've reviewed the paperwork they gave me.
Okay, ma'am, let me just be very clear. All right. When you are serving legal documents, and then you're signing an affidavit, you are telling this court and any court that what you're submitting is true. It's an affidavit. And so if you're not submitting truthful paperwork to the court, that's very problematic. It would strongly be worth your while to review the court rules as to what your legal obligations and responsibilities are, not just a summary of a training that you've received from whomever you received it from. Because there are court rules and even statutes that govern the service of legal documents. Because what happened in this case is that the person you served was not the defendant. And then a default judgment was entered because this defendant did not receive the paperwork.
Okay.
And what happens then is an individual has a default judgment entered against them and they know nothing about it. They don't know anything about it until their wages are garnished, or their vehicle's repossessed, or their tax return is garnished. And then that's when they find out about it. Those could have serious, serious financial consequences and repercussions.
Understood. I signed up with the app. They sent me the paperwork that was the training. That was to the extent of what I've had. I didn't have like a formal like process serving trainer person to take me out. I went by what their rules were.
Who's there?
ABC Legal, the app that I work for.
So it's an app. ABC Legal is an app.
It's they're a process serving company all across the country. It is.
So you get the serve. They give you like the notes and stuff within the serve. You go and verify. You get a training, and that's to the extent of like my knowledge. I didn't know that there was a step of like a formal ID that I needed, because that's not what was presented and stated that was needed. Yeah, I'm trying to learn.
Right.
I signed up, I saw some TikTok videos trying to get a better understanding. I read through all of their training, and so
Okay.
now I'm here.
So here's what you should probably look into.
Okay.
You should probably look into the State Bar of Michigan, whether or not they offer, whether they offer training for process serving. And I don't know what ABC Legal's training repertoire consists of. I don't know if they go through how significant a process server role is in a legal proceeding. Because all parties, whether it's the plaintiff or the defendant who's ever doing the serving, and the court, must rely on that process server that is telling the truth, right? I'm not suggesting, ma'am, that you deliberately, that you falsified anything or you did anything deliberately, right? I do believe that you did what you were trained to do with limited information. It's always a really good idea to ask for the individual to show their ID.
Okay.
And you don't know if it's that person.
Very true. So that's not a detail when I get the serves either.
Correct.
So.
Correct. Now, I do commend you on your level of detail in who you personally served, right? I don't know who that person is. I don't know if you had somebody visiting. I don't know if you had somebody dog sitting. I don't know. So, but in any event, I think we're all very clear that the person you served was not this person. Is that accurate? I know that you serve a lot of people. So.
Yeah, like we're going to go open description, yeah.
Okay.
It was not intended to be fraud. Like I said, I go on my process to literally go there, I identify your name, and once I verify your address, and that's.
No, ma'am, I believe you. I believe that you did not intend to defraud the court or mislead anybody. I 100% believe you. I just want you to be clear on that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to utilize this.
That's a teaching moment, yeah.
Correct. Right. So I would check with the State Bar of Michigan if they offer any training options, and then you should review the Michigan court rules regarding service of process and process servers, as well as any Michigan statutes that would require, that would govern that as well. And you may even want to check to see if ABC legal process serving gives you state-specific training. Because if there is, Mr. Fay indicated they are nationwide, every state has different laws and requirements. So thank you very much for showing up. Mr. Elliot, is there anything that you'd like to say?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Fay, anything that you'd like to say?
No, you're.
Okay. All right. As far as Ms. Sturgis, your presence is complete. What I needed you here for is complete. Council, have you and Mr. Elliot, has there been a resolution with anything?
Hasn't spoken to anybody.
Oh, okay.
When I do call, they won't speak to me. They verify who I am and hang up
Okay.
because they won't allow me to record the call.
Because they what?
They will not allow me to record the call from my end. They record it, but I'm not allowed to.
Oh.
Tell me that their client doesn't allow me to record and they hang up.
Okay. Well, okay. All right, Mr. Just you're all set. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, so did you receive a copy of the summons and complaint emailed to you
Yes, I did.
and mailed to you?
Yes.
Okay, so did you file a response?
No, I did not.
Well,
I
sir,
was supposed to do.
no. Did you read the paperwork?
I read the original paperwork, the paper that was supposed to be served. That's all I read.
Okay, so did you read on the complaint that says that you have 28 days or 21 days to file a written answer?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, sir, you need to read the paperwork that you're receiving.
It was dated for like December 31st.
Well, correct, but then it would go by the new date that you received the service because you didn't receive it previously. So when did you receive it, sir?
Earlier in February.
You need to file your written response, sir.
Okay.
And it would be very, very beneficial to read the entirety of the document that you receive.
That's it. I did receive an email that when I opened it, it took me to a different link. I didn't open it because my browser wouldn't allow it. I can show you if you like. I don't know what it's for. It said U.S. courts, and I went to open it and it sent me to an outside link.
Law firm allows recording, but you don't allow for an individual calling in to record the.
I have actual audio of it.
Hold on, sir.
Then I don't know how they collect theirs or what their requirements are in that aspect. And that's the first I've heard, so I'm delving.
Okay, well, if you can please chat with your client. But in any event, sir, you should be communicating with the attorney, not with the plaintiff, because.
No, man, that's when I call I'm sorry, I don't know the actual name, Steiger, whatever it is. When I called the number that they gave me, they don't allow me to record. They will not.
You're calling the attorney's office.
Correct, I am. The number that they gave me, when I call them, they verify my social, my date of birth, name, all that. And then they tell me that I'm not allowed to record and that they have to hang up the call.
Okay, well, when you're calling an attorney's office, sir, recording, then you have a whole nother level of issues as to why you are not able to record.
Okay.
Because you have a lot of confidentiality issues with attorneys and whatnot. So
It's a call center when you call. It's a person that's verifying who you are. And I don't know exactly how it works. All I know is when I call, it's not an attorney I'm speaking to. It's like the same person. It's like a call center.
okay, but if then they're supposed to be transferring you to the attorney?
They don't tell me anything.
No, are you calling for them to transfer you to an attorney?
They don't tell me that.
No. What is the purpose when you call, sir, the call center?
I was calling the.
Please let me finish the question. We can only record one at a time. When you're calling into the call center, what is your purpose for calling into the call center?
I was trying to come up with a resolution.
Right, to talk to the attorney.
Right.
Okay, so they get all of your information at the call center, they verify who you are, verify you have a case or what have you, and then you tell them that you're recording or you want to record.
No, ma'am, I have an app on my phone that automatically records. My son put it on there. It automatically records the phone calls.
Okay.
It actually tells you that if this phone call is being recorded.
Okay. And so then at that point, they terminate the phone call and they don't transfer you anywhere, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Because they can't transfer you to an attorney that's when the call is being recorded.
And when I did,
Do all of your calls get recorded?
as of right now, yes. Yes. Me and my wife are estranged right now, so I just have it set so it records everything.
Well, you may want to call from a different phone then to communicate with the attorney's office or communicate via email. But sir, you're going to have to file that answer if you want this matter to continue.